Don't take weekends as I want to rest. Take weekends as I have more time to work.
People get home from school, they watch TikTok a bit, they scroll Instagram Reels, they just don't do anything.
How old are you guys again?
I'm 16 and Dom is 17. Right now we are at per month.
Probably making as much as all the teachers together. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be talking with Dom and Marco, who are two students from Grow Creatives. They joined around the end of last summer and it's been about 9 months and they went through an incredible transformation. So it's going to be amazing to talk to them, go over their journey of going from a few $1,000s a month to high tens and get the lessons from them. So thank you so much, Dom and Marco, for coming on today to the channel.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, man. Thank you for inviting us. And we're excited to share our story and share something with the viewers. And we hope that some people can, get inspired, get motivated to do something.
Amazing. So could you guys both just share, by the way, because I think it's very, going to be very inspirational for some people who are watching this, kind of like where you guys are from, your age, and also like how you got into, video editing, video marketing, and then content agency space as a whole.
Yeah, so it's quite an interesting story, not gonna lie. It's quite the same thing for Marco and me, I would say. We started off like doing gaming when we were like kids and stuff like that. Then we started making gaming videos on the internet, started our own YouTube channels and stuff. We were like 13, 14 at the time. Then fast forward like to, I would say 2021, 2022, I was starting video editing for my YouTube creation channel actually. I got like 3k subs on the channel. It was quite a cool experience, not gonna lie. Marco was doing something very similar on the side. He didn't have that big of a channel at the time, but like it was quite there, I would actually say. And then we wanted to start to make money online. It was quite interesting actually, because what happened is many people may not like it, but like we saw Tate on TikTok talk about like his program and stuff, how to make money and stuff. And then we both joined into his program. I'm not gonna mention it here, but most of you most likely know what I'm talking about. We learned quite a bit about freelancing and stuff like that, on how to basically sell to people, let's say. We always had skills of video editing, and that's how we started basically getting our own clients for video editing. But it wasn't, I would say, the best, because you can make some money with video editing. Yeah, you can make like 2 to 4k a month for sure, but you're gonna burn out after some time, and you're not gonna like the job after like doing it for like 8 months straight, as I did it. But fast forward, let's say to October 2022 I was doing outreach on emails. We didn't meet Vince even at that point. It was a bit earlier than that. And I stumbled upon this one guy named The Trading Geek, also known as Brad Go. And he was at about 8k subs, I think. Then I started editing videos for him basically. And from that point onwards, his channel I helped scale to over like 788k subs, I think. So he's one of the largest growing Forex trading YouTube channels on the platform right now. And Marco's been helping me on the way. Not so into like the Trading Geek and his stuff, but like we started our own thing in, I would say, June 2023 it was. Yeah, then we found you in like August 2023 it was, yeah. But yeah, Marco can say a bit more about that stuff, I guess, yeah.
So when we started that agency in 2023, up until then we were just freelancers, kind of just doing our own work. But then as we started going into more of like an agency model, we have just been wrecking our heads around like, how can we get this stuff done? How can we get outreach done correctly? How can we get everything done correctly? We're just kind of lost, didn't know where to go to, what kind of direction to head into. And then as we were talking one day, I was just going through a bunch of YouTube videos on how to scale the agency, how to do this, how to do outreach, how to do that. And then an interesting video came up from Vince. And it was a quite intriguing offer that we both liked. So we hopped on a call. And I've got to say, Vince has amazing sales skills. So he's one of the best sales guy ever. So if you get it, we also learned a lot from the program about sales and about sales calls. So if you get in a sales call with Vince, you'll see how great of a salesman he is. So it's definitely
I appreciate the compliment.
Yeah, I mean, it's really impressive how you manage to not put your product into our face, but kind of let ourselves sell into the product. It was very interesting. And I mean, definitely what has been best for us was the outreach and the part about Grow Creatives when we got into that, because we were so lost around that. We were just sending like this wall of text. It was
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I
1 meter long. Yeah, it was really, really long, really boring. No one really wanted to see it. We weren't getting replies. And then as we got on with the program, everything just started to settle in. And the knowledge just started to, rack. And yeah, that's what got us into where we are today. A lot of that comes down to hard work,
Yeah.
but it also, you need the knowledge to support that hard work. If you
Yeah.
just work without some knowledge, you cannot get anywhere. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say about how we got to now, right, where we are. And yeah, in terms of revenue wise, I think so. Right now we are at 18K per month, and just this week we have closed another 6K in deals, so
Ah.
24K per month. Yeah,
That's
just
incredible.
like 2 days ago.
Yeah, and just for everyone, like, how old are you guys again? Both of you, like Marco and.
So I'm 16 and Dom is 17.
Yeah, that's incredible. And so you were what, 15 when you joined first last summer, and Dom was 16. So yeah, literally you guys are in high school, probably making as much as all the teachers together that you are studying from. So yeah, it's actually really, really cool. And I remember when you first joined, when we first had a call, I was actually on vacation in Croatia, and you guys are from Croatia, right?
Yeah.
So that's some inspiration from anybody from these countries, right? I'm from Hungary, so I'm also like from a kind of like a Balkan country, I guess you could say, almost like Middle Europe. And I think a lot of people use that, as an excuse for why they cannot be successful. And you guys are a prime example that as long as you seek out the knowledge, and whether that be in the form of joining a program like ours, or just on yourself as well, reading books, whatever, like improving yourself, and you match that with incredible hard work, there's literally zero excuse for anybody, right? Like, it doesn't matter where you're from. You guys didn't start with the best computers, with the best setup, with the best everything. You upgraded along the way as you started making more money. And I think that's something that everybody can draw some inspiration from and learn from. So just before we would move on to the next thing, so you guys are now 18K a month. You just did 24K this month, which is, yeah, again, amazing. Do you remember where you guys were at when you were just joining the program end of last summer, while you were freelancing? Like, what was your average revenue back then?
Around 2 to 3K.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I actually even remember that you guys got in on like a pretty long payment plan. Like, I don't know if you couldn't afford the program paid in full back then, or you just had like a lot of expenses, but what made you guys be so confident that it's going to work out that you even decide to get in on a payment plan? Because I think a lot of people, they are very scared to invest into something like this, to invest into themselves, because they are worrying about like whether it's not going to work out or whatever. So, why did you guys end up taking that risk, back then?
Yes, so we were on the WhatsApp call, I think, because you called us from your car. Actually, we were driving to Patja, Croatia, I think.
Yeah, I remember.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was here on this bench behind me. I'm not sure if people can see, doesn't matter. But I had my earphones on and I was like listening to you. And you were like, we can help you with all of this stuff. Help get clients, actually. That was the biggest problem we had. The biggest problem we had was outreach. And the offer wasn't the best. We were just offering video editing at the time.
Yeah.
But what made us go in is the fact that we wanted to make... We had a mentality of we need to make this amount of money up until summertime comes. So we can have a good time and stuff like that. We didn't think extremely like long term, like 10 years down the line, of course. You can't even think about that like with agencies, I guess. But like just that was our mindset, I would say. But what made us join is, I would just say the way how you talked. Everything you just said kind of made a lot of sense. And that's just about it. Marco maybe wants to add something, but it just made sense, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, so it's basically like do or die. It's about the mindset. If you want something to work, it's going to work. If you don't want something to work, then it's not going to work. If you put your head down and you really know that this is the only path you want to take, or like business or entrepreneurship in general, then it's going to work. Maybe not the first try, the second, the third, but definitely it's going to work. But with investing in yourself, I think is the best thing you can in general do, because if you spend like 500 or 1,000 euros on something like materialistic, it doesn't really have a return. Maybe you buy a better mic or something like that, but if you buy, let's say, clothes or some stuff like that, it really doesn't have a return of investment. While if you invest in yourself, you can probably 10x that you've invested. So taking that risk, even if we wouldn't make money, would make a lot of sense just because of the knowledge that we would get.
Yeah, 100%. Like you always either get paid with money or knowledge and experience, right? And I actually even remember, like, I think end of last year or something like that, Dom, we were talking about you buying some like random stuff. Like you were kind of like tripping over buying like some sunglasses and clothes and whatever. Like you were like, "Wait, Vince, like, is it fine if I'm spending my money on this and that and whatever?" And you were kind of like worried about that back then, right? And I told you, like, just keep investing back into the business, invest into better people, better, more education, more everything. And like now, you can fucking afford those clothes or whatever you want. It literally doesn't matter, right? Like the solution is not to, oftentimes I feel like unless you're doing like 10, 20, 30K a month, the solution is not to just save all that money and like invest it into some S&P 500 thing or whatever. Like if you actually want to live a really cool life, just put it back into yourself, put it back into the business until you have enough that you can't even notice if you spent 1K or 2K on stupid shit in a month, right? Cool. And let's go now through some of the biggest challenges. Like, what would you say, were some of the hardest things going from, let's just go through this, right? Like most people, they want to go from, let's say 2 to 3K, maybe they have a job or they are doing some freelancing and they want to get to 10K a month first, right? So let's go through the hardest things going from 0 or 2 to 3K to like 10K a month, and then from 10K to now 20K. Like what were those two stages like? How were they different? And what were some of the biggest lessons along the way?
So 0 to 10K, as I said, I started with video editing. I was making like 2 to 4K a month. Most I made was like about 5K in a month from video editing. That was like very hard. I mean, I was in school as well and stuff. I used to edit like on weekends like a maniac, honestly, before when I was doing that stuff. But it's all about people needing to have the mindset to learn more information on how they're gonna get from exchanging their time for the money, and just getting more people to kind of work for you, get virtual assistants, get a better offer, and just do something that's gonna end up kind of, let's say, making sense instead of just not like video editing, because you're basically exchanging your time to make the money, which is good. You can make 5K, but you're not gonna move from that point onwards, not that much technically. And if you want to get, which Mark is going to share with you, like the 10 to 20, 30K, you need to have people working for you. You need to invest some money. You can't keep all of the money for yourself. I mean, yeah, we close somebody for like 2 to 3K a month. That's cool. But we don't keep all of the money. Some goes to the SEO guy, to the video editor, to the thumbnail designer, to just people working for us technically. And even the money we keep, which is the profit, then the profit needs to go back into investing into ourselves, so we learn more information. We're not just gonna stop here. So from 0 to 10K, you need to have the mindset of making some money, investing that money into a mentor, into somebody who's gonna teach you how to get above that, basically. Because if you're somebody making 5K, you're not gonna learn just like that on, I can make 20K tomorrow. Somebody needs to pass on the information to you, I would say. So 0 to 10K, it's about making some money, 1K, 2K, 3K, investing all of that money, which all of it if needed, into a proper mentor, which Vince is an amazing one, with Greg as well, I would say.
Yeah, Greg is a G. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Greg's a G, honestly. Yeah, Greg's very good, knows everything about it, man.
I also wanted to touch a little bit on like volume, right? Because I think that's something a lot of people overlook, and you guys definitely didn't, and I think that's partially why you got so successful so quickly, right? Like 9 months is not a long time. Like it's pretty much nothing. It flies by like this. And so I have zero doubt that you guys are going to do like 40, 50K same time next year. And so I think a part of that growth was because you guys did a lot of volume, right? You weren't fucking lazy with your outreach. You weren't like, oh, Vince, I sent out 50 outreach and it's still not working, I'm going to give up. Like you guys were just like going at it until it finally worked out. So what would you say on that? Like how many messages would you say you've sent out overall? And how long did it take to get to a point where you guys can actually land clients consistently?
It's about the quality of the message. You can send out, if you're asking me, I would say first few people we've landed after starting to work with you, we were sending about 100 to 200 messages a day. It's about the quality of the message, having a good script. If you take a look at these people's DMs, everybody messages them all the time. Video editors, thumbnail designers, SEO guys, people doing stuff we do. You need to separate yourself from other people. Is it the profile picture? Is it the account? Is it the testimonials, the results you got? The outreach message, what you offer in the message. Just something that's gonna make you stand out. Because even now we do like 250, 350 messages a day, nothing too much. We just record our own videos and then we show unique stuff in them, yeah.
Yeah, but that's a day, right? Like you gotta realize like you're now thinking like, okay, that's not that much, it's normal. But like for the average person, they send out like 10 a week, you know? So like that just doesn't cut it, right? Unless, because even if it's super customized and really good, like I agree with you that it's about the quality of the message and that it's more important to have a really good one than just to like if not, it's not gonna work if you just freaking spam people with a shit message, right? That's not gonna convert. But at the same time, also the quantity part is important because if you just do 10 a week, you only get 10 shots, right? And like a lot of people are not even gonna see it. A lot of people won't open it, whatever. Maybe they read it at the wrong time. So yeah, like volume and also follow-ups are I think something that a lot of beginners like need to focus on. But yeah, cool. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, Marco, what do you think about the growth from 10K a month? Like, well, first of all, I guess before we would get into that, how long did it take to go from like 2 to 3 to 10K? Was it like, do you remember how many months it was roughly?
I think it was like 5 months, probably.
5 months. Yeah.
4 or 5 months. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and
it's,
then doubling
it's a slow
it.
process.
I mean,
doubling it
depends.
took like 2 months.
Yeah, doubling it took
Literally
like 2
took
months.
like 2 months.
Which is pretty
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's about team building. Everything is about team building. Once you get to a certain point in revenue, you just need to have a quality team behind you. Because if you don't, firstly, you will get lost. You won't be consistent, especially if you're still in school, let's say. You don't have the time to do it all yourself. You need a team that can do it. You need to find a good team of video editors, a good team of people who do the lead gen, who send the messages. You need to it's all about connections and a proper team behind you.
Yeah.
Because once you're at that point in revenue, you can really either invest into the business or invest into yourself. So what we have done is basically invested the money into lead gen, into outreach, into perfecting that funnel, let's say. And that is why we have got like from 10K to now it's 24K in like 2 months. Instead of 5 months from 2 to 3K to 10K. It's all about creating a good team and finding people that are actually interested in the whole idea behind your business and not just in for the money. That's also an important part of that, because if they aren't motivated to do that, if they don't see the vision behind it, then they won't do the work as best as they can.
Yeah,
So I think
really
that's
good
a
advice.
really important part.
Yeah. And one thing, to be honest, I've also noticed is that you guys became a lot more mature in the last like 9 months or whatever since I first talked to you. And I think it's also partially because I would assume that probably a lot of your team members are actually older than you guys, right? So
Yeah,
what would
everyone's
you,
older than us.
yeah, like what would you tell to people? Because I think a lot of guys can often feel like nobody will take them seriously in business if they are 16, 17 years old, right? And I also started a business when I was like 15 and then was already working with like relatively high clients as well when I was 16, right? And I personally just never placed myself under anybody. So I didn't really struggle with this. But what would you guys say to people who are struggling with this, who have this limiting belief that people will not take them seriously?
It's just so about you working and seeing that it actually doesn't matter at all. I've talked to people who make literally over 100k a month on call. Some we've closed, some we haven't closed and stuff like that. Some people started working with us when they were making like 50k a month, now they make like 150k a month. It just all comes down to you being able to help people. If you provide value, if you know what you're talking about, if you sound mature on call. Of course, I'm not going to joke around on a sales call 100%. I'm going to be serious, I'm going to be professional, ask the questions, of course, let people speak on the sales call. I mean, people usually close themselves kinda, to be honest, when they start talking and stuff, not gonna lie, technically in a way. But yeah, just acting very mature, which you even become after you do quite a bit of those calls. You really see on the calls that people just respect you a lot when you present yourself as a co-founder of an agency, of somebody who's actually doing very serious business. So yeah, age doesn't matter at all. Your English speaking skills matter, as in terms of how you can talk. Like, yeah, you need to know how to express the words. The accent is extremely important. Even Marco and I have a bit like mixed up Balkan/American USA accents, honestly. Doesn't matter that much. I know people, Korean people that have like even Indian accents, honestly, not gonna lie. If you know what you're talking about, you're gonna make it happen. But
yeah, 100%. And also it's about the quality of the work that you produce, right? Like I've seen the videos you guys make for your clients and they are top-notch quality. The ones I've seen at least. So at the end of the day, that's the only thing that really matters. And another thing I wanted to touch on is, building an agency while in school. I think that's another thing that a lot of people will use as an excuse for why they cannot do it or why they can only take it so far or whatever, is because they don't have the time for it. And I've heard this from people who are in university. I've heard this people who even have a job. I've heard this from people in high school. What are your thoughts on that? Because you guys clearly have managed to do it. So I guess maybe better question is like, what would be your best piece of advice for balancing the two things?
Time management and don't be lazy. It's basically just those two things. So if you can manage school and business at the same time, you can. If you think that you can't, you definitely can. Because it's all about the mindset and what you have in your mind. So if you think that you cannot balance school and you cannot balance business, then you won't be able to. But if you set yourself a goal that you want to scale, let's say you're at $0 per month, and you only know how to edit videos, and you see Vince has some free value, let's say on YouTube, and you see some of his videos on how to do outreach or how to get your first client. And if you really put your head down and work alongside school, if you get home, you want to have good grades, let's say, you can study, you can get good grades, and you can still be successful in business. So it's definitely all about the mindset and the thinking behind that. And that's all that I have to say about that. And also, don't be lazy. Don't take weekends as I want to rest. Take weekends as I have more time to work. That's also another good piece of advice for anyone who's still in school and wants to do business as well.
Now, with that being said, though, did you guys ever feel like just quitting the whole thing? Like, was there ever a moment when you just doubted whether it's going to even work out?
100%.
I think
yeah,
not.
we did.
I didn't, but Dom probably did. I just kind of thought that it would work.
Yeah, Dom, what do you think then? Like, what was that moment like for you, and at what stage, and what got you over it?
It was interesting because the difference is, before when we were video editing, I did quite a bit of videos more than Marco kinda did. And then I was always like, I made some money, I can make more. I'm not 100% sure how it's gonna work out. Technically it can, but is it gonna work out? You're so far, but you're so close actually, in a way, if you get what I mean, Like, if you think of making 20k a month being that hard, you're gonna think, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. But if you think about making 20k a month as something like, I'm paying Vince, I'm paying Greg, it's gonna work out, they're gonna help us, we're gonna make it happen, how Marco technically did, then it's gonna happen, you know what I mean? I've talked to dozens of times to Marco about, I'm not sure if this is gonna work, that's gonna work. He was like, it should, it will. He did doubt it a few times, I would say, maybe possibly some specifics of the business, yeah. But yeah, what got me over it is just working and seeing if it's gonna work out. I mean, if this doesn't work out, something else will. I mean, even if this fails in like a month, which I hope it's not, I mean, it shouldn't, But if it does in any way, shape, or form, then we're just gonna make a new business and keep on going. It's about if you want to make money or if you don't. If you want to make money, you're gonna find a way, of course, completely normal ways of making money and why you can do anything. But yeah, it's about you want it, you're gonna get it. You don't want it, you're not gonna get it. Because people are. I want to touch on like what you asked Marco, like the last question. People are just too slow technically. People get home from school, they watch TikTok a bit, they scroll Instagram Reels, they just don't do anything. And then, let's say 7 p.m. comes around, 7 to 9 p.m., they edit videos. Then it's like, yeah, a few animations here and there, one video, one short form little clip is done. People who watch this in the video editors know exactly what I mean. It's not that much, you know what I mean? You gotta be fast, you gotta be working all the time. You need to work on yourself as in physical fitness as well, because that builds your mind as well. You just need to keep on working and working. Because if you give energy into a specific movement you're making in your life, it's gonna give back. Maybe not in a month, but like 1 year isn't that much. I was talking to Vince, by the way. You remember when you told me, oh yeah, Dom, like 1 year you're gonna be 18. It's not that much time technically.
Yeah.
And in August 2023 last year, I was like, oh Marco, I got fucking, I don't know, man, 18 years old, can't wait to hit the goal. You know what I mean? I mean the goal, like the age, 18 years of age. That's like a goal. I mean, a milestone we want to hit technically from quite a bit of time ago, because we also made some money now. It would be cool, wouldn't it? So, I mean, yeah, time just flies. Work, keep on working. As you get to know more information, it's going to help you make more money, and that's it. Making money is about learning information on how to do it. If you know how to make 100k a month, you're going to do it technically. You just need to take action. But if you don't make 100k a month, you don't know how to do it yet. It's either your mindset or the steps you do, and usually it's your mindset, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I think a big thing is, you said that, hey, even if you eventually start something else, like something will work. And I think that's one thing that's actually really good about the agency model. And I'm not saying like that's the only way to make money, right? Like there's tons of ways you can make money and pretty much all of them work. It's just up for you to make it work, right? But the good thing about the agency model is you learn so many different skills. Like you learn how to package an offer, you learn how to generate appointments, you learn how to close deals on the phone, you learn how to build a team. Like that's why I think it's a great business for beginners, because it's like low startup cost, good cash flow. And also, you're learning so many skills which you can implement and use in pretty much any business venture you will start in the future, right? So yeah. And then the second thing I wanted to say is I completely agree with you as well. And that is that, if you like believe that you can do something and just like genuinely believe it, then you will eventually get your way around there somehow, right? And that's why it's so important, I think, to also surround yourself with the right people who have like big goals. And not only that, but also to try to limit like the bullshit that you hear. Because like, I don't know about Croatia, right? But in Hungary, when I was growing up, I heard like so many limiting beliefs from other people that kind of got installed into my brain, that like rich people are evil and that they are, or you can only get rich if you are lucky, right? And just like all sort of stupid shit. Like the only way people have money is by tax fraud and like, or politicians. And like, these are the things in Hungary, for example, that everybody thinks, or that I was even told this, right? That, if you're working, you shouldn't be working when you're young, like you are wasting your best years, your teen years. And now if I look back, I'm just thinking like, that was like the dumbest thing that people were telling me. And they were just always telling their own skewed version of reality and trying to, limit me by that. And I think that's amazing with you guys as well, is that, you kind of had the two of you together like a team. You were listening to positive things. You were, bringing each other like the right mindset, the right support, and you didn't let yourself be limited by the environment. I mean, I don't know. Did you feel like there was anything like that in Croatia where people were trying to like limit you guys in terms of what is possible, or what, because because they thought that what you guys trying to do is not possible by any chance?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's really popular in the Balkans for like people to just shit on people that have money, and it's normal. It's everywhere. I think it's everywhere. I don't know just about the Balkans. I think the entire Europe, America maybe not so much, but I think it's as well. Like they're either mafia boss criminals or something like that. But yeah, definitely in Croatia, people they want to limit you because they hate to see you succeed.
Yeah.
They would
100%.
more likely be friends with you if you failed and be like, hey, that's okay, than if you succeeded.
Yeah. Misery loves company, right? There's this saying, and it's so true. And that, that thing, I don't know, have anybody told you guys this, that like you are missing out on life by working so hard or doing like so much at this age?
100%. Everybody literally. Bro, yeah, I mean, we've been on places, yeah, literally. Too much.
Yeah, and it's so funny because like I was told that all my life, kind of like growing up, because I started pretty early as well. And nowadays, when I'm, here in Dubai, we go out on like a yacht party with my friends or whatever, racing supercars in the desert, whatever the case is, right? I'm not trying to say that to like flex, but I'm just thinking like, bro, I'm not missing out on anything. Like, I'm so glad I didn't spend 15, 16, 17 just like partying, doing drugs, like doing all sort of, stupid shit. And instead, I just kind of locked myself in because I just like saved myself so much pain for the future. Yeah, it was kind of, it was kind of shit maybe in the moment sometimes. It felt a bit lonely, whatever. But at the end of the day, I was still enjoying it, kind of. That's why I pushed through it. And not only that, but now I have like such a better life than if I had to work like a shitty 9 to 5. I didn't want to for money that's like, it's not like the amount, like amount you can make from a job compared to if you have a successful agency or personal brand or whatever the case is like so insignificant, right? So like you can literally make a yearly salary in a month if you run a business easily, right? Yeah, and I mean, also you guys are just proof that you don't even need to go to college or whatever. Like, you can just do it if you really want to yourself. If somebody's maybe watching this, that maybe they are like kind of curious about our program Grow Creatives, how would you guys describe it to somebody who's not in there? Like, how would you describe trying to scale an agency, figure it out on your own versus being in a program like that? Could you talk about that a little bit?
The difference is you're gonna stumble upon roadblocks. You're gonna have a problem with outreach, and then you're not gonna have Greg by your side to help you out in Slack. You know what I mean? And then like you don't have anybody to ask stuff. I mean, like it's a question you have about the sales call you just had. It's a question about you're not closing anybody, you're getting meetings booked. Most people just have a problem of getting meetings booked. And then some people even close clients, and then they have a problem with like service delivery. So an agency is like this bunch of things you gotta focus on. And if you don't have anybody helping you out on that side of things, then you're technically messing up big time because you could be making a ton of money. You know what I mean? So yeah, having somebody by your side, even if it's like a month, 2 months, 6 months, any program you have, it's gonna be beneficial for people. And people need to think about it in the sense of investing in themselves. Don't think short term that much. I mean, 3 months is gonna go by fast. If it's May you're watching this video, you wanna spend a ton of money in July, August as I wanted you to do last year. It ends up I just spent €400 in a town in Croatia and that's it. Nothing else. And that isn't a ton of money looking at how much we make now, for example. So think long term. Time goes by fast. If time goes by fast and if you keep on working and being productive, you're gonna make it happen, technically. I mean, there's just a few ways of how people don't make money in the end. You've heard this from somebody, most likely. It's either you're lazy, you're arrogant, or like you're stupid. People aren't stupid, of course. Very, very few people are stupid. You could be arrogant because you think you're working with Greg over here, you just paid, and you're thinking like, oh yeah, Greg maybe doesn't know this stuff. I mean, he makes more money than you, just listen to the guy. He's gonna show you some info, you're gonna learn what you gotta learn. And then people are just lazy because, as I told you, they get home from school, they're like, yeah, Dom, I worked for 7 hours today. It was just an hour. 6 hours they were scrolling TikTok, watching people's videos. Some of them were even maybe Marcos and Mai's videos, not gonna lie. So it's quite interesting how that works, but that's what I would say. Marco can add something in, I guess, now, yeah.
So yeah, I think the biggest thing about the Grow Creatives is, firstly, if you don't like to work by yourself or you don't, you need someone to work with, it's a great community of people who are like-minded. But the second thing, which I personally found more important, were the calls that we had with Vince and Greg, because it just really gave us a kind of a perspective change from someone who has been through that. Because we have all been through a similar process of like scaling an agency, the roadblocks, everything. And it was just a good experience if like you have a roadblock and let's say Greg or Vince has been through it and he knows the answer and he can help you out. Instead of you wasting months or weeks trying to solve that one outreach problem, constantly getting to zero again and trying to bounce back. But yeah, it's just about having a good team of people like Vince and Greg, and also the community to help you out, also review your sales letter, video sales letter, let's say, or even some of your editing if you're still like, you don't have the money to pay off the program, let's say. You can ask anyone everything and they will know the answer. That's a good thing about Grow Creators that really helped me out. I think Dom as well, definitely. I think the calls were the best because yeah, it's just a one-on-one conversation and it's all just value.
Cool. Well, thank you guys so much. Like that genuinely means a lot because we want to make it like, you know, something that every creator or creative can come to who wants to get more out of life, who wants to build more of a business, right? And learn from it. So yeah, it really means a lot, those words. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for coming on. If you have anything else you would like to add, I guess maybe like some last, you know, words of advice for people who might be watching this. And then we could end off at that.
Just work. Just
work.
Head down and work. Yeah. Head down and work. Don't put your head up. Just work, and it will work out. So yeah, that's the only thing I want to say.
This may be interesting for people to hear. I'm in a group that was created in October 2022. There's 4 guys who haven't made 5K a month for a year and a half, something like that. Yeah, it was around that time, I think. They haven't made money for a long time. There's a guy that sent like 1.5K emails manually written on the keyboard. There's a guy who sent like, I think 5K messages on Instagram, literally every single day. He got on calls, he closed nobody. But now they started to make quite a bit of money, like 4K, 5K, 8K, 10K profit per month. So if you put your head on your work, you don't give up, of course, you're gonna make it happen. Just be smart and have a mindset of, as I told you before, learn information on how to make money. If you know how to do something, you're gonna be able to do it. It's very simple at the end of the day. It comes down to having discipline, of course, but that's the first building block to even find in this video, I guess. Because if you're disciplined, you're gonna watch through this, I guess, till the end. But
yeah,
that's about it. Just work.
Amazing. Yeah. Amazing. Cool. Well, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, Dom and Marco, for coming on this, video on the channel. I'm sure a lot of people got some inspiration from it. So now take the advice and actually go ahead, put your hand down and work, like they said. And yeah, I'm really, really proud of both of you guys for the transformation you've come through and gone through in the last 9 months. Like I found it very fascinating. And yeah, what can I say? I'm just genuinely proud of you guys. So yeah, thank you guys for coming on.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Thank you, man.
So congratulations on watching this video until the end. You are part of that 1% of people who actually have an attention span to watch a 30+ minute video like this. I really hope you got some value from Marco and Dom, and hope you got inspired by their amazing journey inside of Grow Creatives and growing their creative agencies. If you are someone who wants some help with either transitioning from freelancer to creative agency owner or starting a creative agency and then getting it to 10K plus per month, then you can go ahead and book a call with the first link in the description below, and I will see you there.